So now we're going to look at the opponent's attack, and here's the problem: is when he's hitting rapidly, it can be hard to find the opening for hitting. Because if you're waiting to actually see it and then go in, it's too late. You have to anticipate it correctly. So we're going to look at 2 moments of anticipation where you can find the gap. And it's a bit like a spinning merry-go-round. You know, you're trying to find when do I hop on it, you know, while it's still spinning. And you have to anticipate the right moment. So in this case, I'm going to base it on his cross. All right, and that's important because when we're out here, his jab, I can have that covered by slipping and by parrying and sort of like feeling it, you know, moving it out of the way and getting out of the way of it. But it's not as much of a threat except where it makes me move, where I'm set up for his cross to get me. So I'm still eyeing his cross. I'm like, okay, when he throws his cross, I'm going to do, in this case, one of 2 things. The first is programming myself ahead of time. I'm anticipating throwing something based on how he throws his cross, where I'm going to move. So I'm feeling the jab, I'm moving my feet, and I wait for that cross. As soon as it comes, I find the position outside, and I tell myself, okay, outside the cross, before he throws his hook, is when I throw my hook, and then I follow up. That's my first opening against his cross. It's my first gap. All right? Is monitoring the jab and parrying, or looking for the cross when it comes, and it's there, there, there. All right? Because that's when he's overextended. That's when he's exposed his left side. His ribs are exposed. His head might be exposed. So often people will return the cross low and leaves an opening for my hook. I cover against his hook, but I'm also throwing the hook hopefully before he can throw his. So that's your first one. But you're training yourself. It's not just a physical motion. You're training yourself to anticipate it. It's a mental exercise in looking at, you know, when the cross is coming, I'm already set to do that. The next one is this, is putting yourself on the end of the cross and saying, whatever he throws across, it falls short. I throw my cross because his follow-up is the hook, and my cross beats his hook. And that's another time when you can say ahead of time, like, I'm just going to throw it and not think about it. Because he has no offense that defeats it, all right, at that moment. So we're here again, I'm monitoring his jab. He throws his cross, and what happens is I move just a little bit, because his cross follows this diagonal path that goes past my face. If I'm in range, it catches me like that, all right? But if I'm a little too far away, it doesn't keep coming this way, it goes right by me over to my left. And that's when I say, okay, his follow-up is his hook. Boom, and that's when I get it, okay? So my straight line on this side beats his arc on that side. And so that's why I'm just trying to get him to stretch out his cross, but still be within range of my cross. So I'm moving him, jabbing with him as well. And he throws his cross, and goes right there. And then I follow up. Yeah. Okay, so we move around, we try it some more. And you notice too that we are contacting each other. We're not hitting each other, but we're definitely finding the right range. We'd like it to be realistic in that respect so that we know that our feet were in the right place. All right, because you're training yourself to not be too far away to actually do this. It's not going to help you. It's going to help you hit back and miss, and then that ends up being his opportunity to hit you. So we're moving again. He jabs, I'm parrying. He throws his cross, he falls short, right there, right there, right there. Okay? If he did follow up with the hook, I got him. If he didn't, then I still hit because his cross has already been spent. He hasn't loaded it up again. He doesn't have another good punch from there. The main difference is if he didn't follow up with his hook, that meant off of throwing his cross. He was thinking defensively. He was thinking, okay, I better move my head. It might be harder for me to hit him because the target might be more elusive. But if he's trying to hit me with his hook, or if I've already noticed that he follows up across the hook, then right away I throw the cross knowing that he'll probably be there for me. All right, so right there, boom. In that case, he sort of caught me a little bit. All right, if you get caught, come back, okay? It doesn't make you freeze. Okay, I hope nothing else bad happens. Yeah, something else bad is going to happen. He has another punch for you. And so it's interesting, too, now that I think it, that in boxing, too often people do not train in their drilling hitting back off of being hit. It's always off of successful defense, right? It's like, well, that sounds nice and ideal, but it doesn't always happen that way. And so where do you find yourself when he's here? Boom, and I'll come back. You know, train yourself even off of medium or light contact. Or like get hit and come back off of that, because that is good rehearsal for sparring and for fighting. That is what happens. You get hit, time to hit him back. It's a great equalizer in fighting, right? Everybody gets hit in the face. All right, that's it.
I have a question on that.
Yeah.